Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Monica Corrado here, the Gap Chef. Here to talk with you about all things gaps. Again, Monica Corrado. My website is simplybeingwell.com. My YouTube channel is Monica Corrado. I say that because I am posting things there about gaps that will be helpful to people that are not able to get onto our onto this Facebook Lives, etc. Hello, Efren. Hello, Mara. Hello, Vicky. Hello, Leonie. Hello. Good to see everyone. Just a couple more things. Number one, disclaimer, I am not a medical doctor. Everything I say has not been approved by the FDA. Yeah. So, and I certainly do not talk about healing. That's kind of a joke. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Christina. Hello, Umu. Hello, Roseanne. Good to have you. So every week, first of all, welcome to everyone who's new, who hasn't been with us before. Please do come and review the other Facebook Lives under the events on this page. Yep, under events, you can find all of the Facebook Lives that I've done. I do have a culturing dairy class starting tomorrow, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, which is an hour and a half earlier than this is. We'll go for 4 Wednesdays in a row, and I'll be talking all about dairy, raw dairy, pasteurized dairy, culturing dairy, kefir, yogurt, sheep, goat, cow, camel, you name it, I'll be covering it. So if you're interested in that, do check the page. There's a link there. There's also a promo code for you. All right. And there's also, just for everyone that's new, there is my intro diet chart. I need to get a new one because look how much I use it. Intro diet chart is available to you, free download on the page. Coupon for this book, which you can see I reference myself, for you on the page. And without further ado, let us get started. So first I want to say hello to everyone else. Hello, Jennifer. Good to have you. Good. Hello, Valerie. I think I've said hello to everyone else. For everyone that is not currently on, hello, Annika. That's not saying hello, but you're here. Hello. Good to see you. Good to have you. All right. All of you know, or should know by now, unless you're new, that I do take the first 10, 15 minutes, maybe longer, to do some teaching at the beginning. I think it's helpful to do a baseline of information, get a foundation of information. Little tiny rhyme there. Get a foundation of information out there to you so that you can reference it again and again. So that's my effort to try and help get the correct information about the GAPS protocol to you. So let's get started. So I did say that I was going to do, apparently this is not a very popular subject because we don't have a lot of people here today. I thought of something. Wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't it be helpful to do something called poop clues? Poop clues. I know that this is that I'm in a chef coat, but we do know that what you eat and how you prepare it, how it's grown, and whether or not your digestion is working matters a lot about how it comes out the other end and when it comes out the other end and whether it comes out the other end. So we get a lot of questions. I do as a practitioner, a certified GAPS practitioner, and I get them on the page. They're all over Facebook groups, etc. Poop. So let's talk about poop, shall we? And then I'll take all of your other questions, or as many as I can. So what does it matter? Why is it important? It is important to be watching watching the frequency of bowel movements, number one. Dr. Natasha writes in all of her books that humans, adults, people, should be having 1 to 2 bowel movements every day. So you want to have 1 to 2 bowel movements every day. If you're not having a bowel movement, or your child is not having a bowel movement, then what do you do? What you do is an enema. And enemas, I suppose I should have put that in the title. Enemas are really important tools that we have on the GAPS diet that have been used for thousands of years for health. They can help clear headaches, migraines, toxicity, all sorts of things, but certainly they help. How do they do that? They clear out the bowel. Yeah? So please do look at enemas. Look at the basic enema, which is water, salt, and baking soda. Look at the coffee enemas, which is for adults, which are for adults. But enemas are really important and can be done on young children. Please take a look at the chapter in the blue book being this book. I call this the blue book. Please take a look at the chapter on bowel management in the blue book. Dr. Natasha talks a lot about bowel management because it's a really very important topic. Yes. Hello, Sandy. Yes. You're welcome. So glad you're talking about this important topic. Okay, so Blue Book Bowel Management starts on page 372. So take a look. Lots of information on diarrhea, constipation, enemas, etc., etc., etc. So back to the beginning. The first thing you want to do is be looking to make sure that everyone is having, you, your child, your mate, your spouse, your grandmother, your client, your patient, who is it? Anyone that's on GAPS needs to be having a bowel movement every day, unless that is a newborn baby that is exclusively breastfed. You'll see that Dr. Tasha has a nice big box about that in the blue book. Okay, so everyone needs to be having a bowel movement every day. At least 1, maybe 2, maybe more. Very important. If they are not having one, please do educate yourself. Do some reading. Do reading first. Go to Dr. Natasha first before you Google it or jump on DuckDuckGo. We want to find out, what does Dr. Natasha have to say about enemas, how to do them, when to do them, what equipment you need, and everything else. So please do grab that. Yes, Valerie, hello. And the blue book has some very great information on enemas and coffee enemas for sure. Yes. Okay, Tara, yes, you need to get the blue book. Excellent. Okay. Hello to Veronica. Hello to Hazel. Good to have you with us. Okay. So number 1, frequency is important. Do not, I'm saying this strongly, but what can I say? Dr. Natasha, who I get to teach with in another 2 hours, yes, for the coach program, she is very clear that we should not allow ourselves or our children to go without having a bowel movement every day. And enemas are a safe and easy thing to do. It's a wonderful tool for many, many reasons. So just become really familiar with how to do them, when to do them, why to do them, get the equipment you need. Yeah, she talks about what you need. Enema kit, etc. Very important. Please, moms and dads and caregivers, do not allow your children to go 1 day, 2 days, 5 days, 10 days without a bowel movement, or yourself for that reason. One must have regular bowel movements. All right, so I've said it clearly. Why? Because when we do not have bowel movements, we retoxify the body. So here you are, trying hard, doing your best to get your children and yourself and your patients and your clients and your spouses and whoever you're working with the best quality food you can find. You're paying an arm and a leg sometimes. Sorry for that image. But right? You're buying good quality food. You're learning how to prepare it in the right way, yeah? You're doing your best to keep toxins out of the body. You're doing Epsom salt baths. You're doing sunbathing. You might be doing oil pulling. Tra-la, hooray! If you're not having a bowel movement, all those toxins, which are supposed to go out of the body, which are releasing into the bloodstream and into the body during die-off, are recirculating back to the brain, back to all of the cells in the body. Absolutely critical to have regular bowel movements. Okay, I think I've driven that one home. Next, what happens when you look in the bowl? Okay, now you're having a bowel movement. If you're having too many bowel movements, so let's say you have diarrhea, again, Blue Book, bowel management, yeah? What things help with diarrhea? So sometimes we can start in a different place. Sometimes diarrhea happens because you have a chronic or acute, you have a bowel disorder, meaning you have IBS, you have Crohn's disease, you have any of those disorders which require no plant gaps. Yeah, please look at no plant gaps. If vegetables make you have diarrhea, you may want to go off vegetables for a while, remembering that raw vegetables can be gravel, sandpaper on the gut. Yeah, so perhaps if you have chronic diarrhea and you have one of these issues going on, you might want to try no plant gaps, no plants for a while until you heal and seal. I could talk more about that at another time. I've worked with people on no plant. It's an incredibly healing, wonderful, fabulous protocol. Okay, so if you have diarrhea, you may want to take plants out. All right. Next, if you have diarrhea, you will want to be eating and drinking high protein dairy. High protein dairy, which we're going to go over again in my class in a couple weeks. But high protein dairy are which? Whey, which I've talked about before. Whey is high protein dairy. Why? It's protein. That's what whey is. So Dr. Natasha really suggests people sip on whey all day if you're prone to diarrhea. We'll talk about what does that mean if you don't do dairy yet. But okay, so if you're doing dairy, whey drip from yogurt, whey drip from kefir, milk kefir. It's so funny. I'm just thinking about how it rhymes with deer. Kefir rhymes with deer. Sorry. Okay. Whey from separated raw milk. Yeah. So drinking whey all day, sipping on whey. What's another thing you can do? You can eat yogurt or kefir, milk kefir. However, milk kefir really can initiate a very strong die-off response for some people. So, and for many people when they first come to GAPS, depending on which kefir you're trying, right? Whether you bought it in the store, which will be low in potency, whether you bought it from a farmer or you got it from a friend, higher in potency, whether you made it yourself, really high in potency. Yeah. Okay, so diarrhea, high protein dairy. Or no plants for a while. All right. What else? What about, and diarrhea is difficult because it's not comfortable, especially if you're running to the bathroom a couple times a day. However, it is getting toxins out. So the thing that you want to be concerned about or be mindful of is how long is the diarrhea going for? Many days? Long time? And are you staying hydrated? Okay? You don't want to be dehydrated by diarrhea. So what's the best thing for hydration? Certainly meat stock with lots of good salt in it. And of course, good salt. And of course, mineral water. Those are, and Yeah, those would be your top electrolyte ensuring, if you will, things you could do for diarrhea. But again, between diarrhea and constipation, diarrhea is, in general, maybe a better thing for the body in terms of getting toxins out. Okay, what else can you do? What if you're having constipation, which is the thing that many, many people that come to me ask about? What do we do about constipation? So here we go. Ready? Diarrhea means you get on intro diet. Okay? Diarrhea. Diarrhea is for intro. Constipation. What if you're prone to constipation? What if, like, you've been constipated all your life? Sorry about that. With either really slow bowel movements or really hard bowel movements or really big bowel movements, right, that are difficult to pass. Constipation. You're prone to constipation. You know your body. Listen to your body. However old you are, however old your child is, are they prone to diarrhea? Boom, letting things out. Are they prone to holding constipation? If they're prone to constipation, then you want to start them on full gaps. Why? Because full gaps is full of fiber, or a lot more fiber than intro has. Yeah? Why? Full gaps has salads. Full gaps has fermented vegetables. Intro, you're on fermented vegetable juice for stage 1, for stage 2, etc. Yeah, so full gaps for constipation. All right, what else have we got for constipation? Again, enemas, number 1. What else is okay on gaps? Magnesium. I personally am a standard process lover, and again, this is the word according to Monica, I love the whole food magnesium that's available from standard process. It's not just citrate, magnesium citrate, or magnesium glycinate, or magnesium lactate, or magnesium whatever. It's magnesium. Yeah, that would be Easy Mag from standard process. So magnesium you can take. 2 tolerance. What does 2 tolerance mean? It means it gives you diarrhea. So some people, they need to add magnesium and then their bowels come online, meaning they have more regular, easier bowel movements. Some people find constipation resolves after starting a stomach acid booster. Remember, I talked about stomach acid boosters. If it wasn't last week or 2 weeks ago, it was recent, in the last few weeks. Stomach acid booster, hydrochloric acid, it would be betaine HCl with pepsin, or Zypan, again from standard process, or you can use foods like bitters, organic bitters before your meal, like eating a raw cabbage salad before your meal, like eating sauerkraut before your meal. These are all things that are in Dr. Natasha's, certainly Blue Book, all those things. In fact, in bowel management, she has a huge section. Oh boy, look at this. Constipation, direct quote, page 374. Constipation is always a sign of deficient gut flora. There you have it, from the gal herself, from the doctor herself. The beneficial microbes that normally populate the bowel play a crucial role in proper stool formation and elimination. Okay, so what does that mean? That means over the long haul, you really have to increase the amount of good bacteria you have in your diet, whether that is through beet kvass, which also has the added benefit of being a blood cleanser. Some people get regular, quote unquote, just having beet kvass in the morning and beet kvass at nighttime. Sally Fallon, now Sally Fallon Morrell, talks about that a lot. Beet kvass, the role of beet kvass in clearing constipation. Beets full of betaine. That thing that you'd take in a pill, right? How else could you do it? You could do it with, if you are constipated, again, how do we increase the flora? You could do kombucha. You could do any of the high-fat dairy, butter, ghee, cultured cream, GAPS sour cream, which is cultured cream, right? Okay, and then I just want to let you know that, God, I love this. Enemas provide instant relief from constipation and reduce the toxic load in the body quickly and effectively. All right, I wanted to let you know, on page 375, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ready? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 options Dr. Natasha suggests in terms of clearing constipation. So I really suggest you take a look at that blue book, 375, 376, a list of 10. Yeah? Impaired bile function equals constipation. What can you do in GAPS? GAPS milkshake. Coffee enemas. Number 2, removing dairy products for a little while. Sometimes, unless you just have high-fat dairy. 3, drinking water per day. I know Mara wants me to say that one. Enough water. 4, reduce muscle meats. Eat more gelatinous meats, the ones that are soft tissues around the bones and the joints. 5, increase animal fats. How many of you are up to 4 tablespoons to 8 tablespoons additional fat per day? Good question. Then there's your magnesium, then there's some chlorophyll, then there's some castor oil packs on your liver, etc., etc. There's also a wonderful thing called a, what does she call it? La, 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 la. There's actually a stool for going to the bathroom that you can buy that will make you at the right angle. Okay, so let's get back. Pulling it all together. If you're constipated, there are many things that you can do to help get the stools to move, including also, folks, ginger tea. Fresh ginger tea that you make from fresh ginger root. Prokinetic. It's on the GAPS diet for a reason. Everyone should be having 2 or 3 cups a day, especially if you have constipation or you experience constipation. Very, very helpful. Some ginger in your GAPS milkshake, really good for you. That is what we call fire and movement, right? So constipation, we need to get things moving. If you've tried all of these things and you're still not moving, you may want to, I always suggest acupuncture. Everyone, go get acupuncture from a good acupuncturist. I always suggest chiropractic. I'm also suggesting things for moving the fascia, your diaphragm. You may just be stuck internally. Yeah, all those things are very, very important. And then for diarrhea, what do? We may have to do no plant GAPS. We have high protein dairy, right, to firm the stools. Yeah, that's what we do. And then please, I want to mention one more thing. I really want to talk about floating stools and light-colored stools. Okay, so floating stools and light-colored stools are usually the presence of, or usually indicate that you're having a hard time digesting fats. If that's true, jump on those GAPS milkshakes. Please use the GAPS milkshake recipe from this book. That is the official recipe. It has raw eggs. If you can't do a whole egg, you're not a GAPS milkshake person yet. Okay, that means raw egg white, raw egg yolk, the whole egg. Okay, if you can't do the fat of cultured cream, GAPS sour cream, that's okay. You can switch out the fats. Dr. Natasha has some of those. But so if you've got floating stools, if you've got light-colored stools, don't panic. Just watch it. Watch it. Start doing things to assist the liver and the gallbladder. Number 1, is GAPS milkshakes. Yeah. 2, acupuncture. 3, castor oil packs on the liver. Yeah. 4, ox bile. Just take it. Ox bile is a supplement, which is fine on the GAPS diet. In fact, most people need to start with it because they're not used to, their body is not used to processing fat. And you'll get used to it after a while. Ox bile prior to the meal. There's at least one listed on gapsdiet.com. That's a resource for you. And I personally, again, like standard process cholesterol. That's bile salts. But many people, again, need one of these things to get things moving. Don't underestimate, folks, the role of emotion in whether or not you're having a regular bowel movement and whether or not you're having too many bowel movements. Are there too many? Who knows? If that is true, then in terms of emotions, you could look at homeopathy. You could look, and we have at least 2 really wonderful homeopaths on this group. You can look for them, right? Lise Battaglia, and her website is recoverynaturally.com. And Melissa Crenshaw, I'm not remembering what her her website is. In any case, but homeopathy, flower remedies, acupuncture, use it all. Myofascial, massage, etc. Visceral massage. Those are wonderful things to get things moving. Okay. But the bottom line is, folks, do not panic. Just stay as calm and loose as you can. Do the best you can. And do the best you can and use these tools. And always, always go to Dr. Natasha first. Read the book first. Go to gaps.me, Dr. Natasha's website. Go to her FAQs and look it up. See what she has to say. She's answered hundreds of questions on all sorts of things, and she may have your answer right there. All right, that's what I've got on poop for now. Okay, let's see. Hello, more people. Hello. Fatsy Ali is here. Hello. Laura, hello, Laura. Nice to have you. Okay, hello, Shukri. Hello, Christina. Hello, Gurjit. Hello. Pardon me. Hello, Deb. Good to have you. Hello, Lucia. Hello, Fatima. Hello, everyone. Hello, Adriana. Hello, Carol. Hello, Edil. Hello. Okay, I'm going back up. Just wanted to say hello to people. First, I'm going to drink some of mine. Here you go. I hope you can read this. It's going to be a really good day. Salud. Little chicken meat stock for me. With some ghee and turmeric. That'll keep me going between, hello, Vicky, between now and teaching with Dr. Natasha in a couple hours. All right. So the first question was, Vicky says, hello, Vicky. Vicky Lee says, if ACV stomach acid test results in burning, but baking soda test yields no burp, then what? Work pancreatic enzymes? What do you recommend? Okay, so just so everyone knows, people that are new, jump back on the page when you have a chance. I put a stomach acid test, which is just a no big whoop stomach acid test using baking soda. That's the burp test, and then ACV. So, Vicky, if the stomach acid test resulted in burning in your stomach, then what I would do, this does not mean you have gastritis, so don't worry about it. But I would jump in here and look for Dr. Natasha's thing when she talks about what to do with gastritis. And then I would, yes, go ahead and take pancreatic enzymes. Why? Because when our stomach acid is low, folks, this is the kicker. This is the big important piece. You have to get this, yeah? It's like a domino effect. So you have to produce enough stomach acid in order for that first domino, stomach acid, to hit off the next steps so that digestion happens and happens efficiently. If you do not have enough stomach acid production, then what's the first things that are not going to be hit? Or first couple, pancreatic enzymes. So take enzymes for sure. Okay? All right. Until and until things get resolved. Okay. Okay, Sandy asks, if you haven't had a bowel movement, by what time of the day? Now, if you haven't had a bowel movement all day, that would be a helpful guide here, I think. Okay, so our bodies are set up with a certain clock. Usually, your first bowel movement will happen during stomach time, which is it 5 to 7 a.m. or 7 to 9 a.m.? If there's any acupuncturists on here or Chinese medicine people, throw that number in there. But certainly it's early in the morning. Your first bowel movement should happen early in the morning, certainly by 7 o'clock in the morning or so. However, what we're looking for here, if you haven't had a bowel movement all day, like don't go 24 hours without a bowel movement. If you have, enema. Okay? Okay. Christina wants to know, how can I know if I have IBS or Crohn's? So IBS is irritable bowel syndrome, IBD, irritable bowel disease, Crohn's, all these things are things that are diagnosed for you. The doctor would tell you that you have one of those things. However, what they look like is, certainly IBS, looks like, boom, I eat a food, boom, it flies out of me, right? It's almost not digested. It just gets, it's very strong diarrhea movement. So that would be something that you would be diagnosed with. However, also, if you don't handle plants, if you eat plants and you get diarrhea, that would be a really good, easy sign for yourself that probably I need to not be eating plants right now. Yeah? We remember, please, everyone, that plants are cleansers and animal foods are builders. And Dr. Natasha goes into that very strongly in the Blue Book, so take a look. Some people can live without plants for years. We don't need them. I know, heresy to the vegetarian and vegan movement. Okay, next. Fatima asks, my little boy keeps getting ingrown nails all the time. His toenails look so chipped and damaged. He is on GAPS. What is the cause and the remedy for this? Do you know? You know, I don't know, but I'm sure I could figure it out. It's probably a nutrient deficiency. Let me write it down to get back to you. I don't have that right in front of me. Hold on. Grabbing things to write with. All right, let's do this. Ingrown toenails. That is definitely not definitely, but my assessment, my intuition, my feeling, my deduction is that it's a nutrient deficiency. So look for that later on. And keep that child on lots of organ meats. Okay, folks? I hope you're all doing lots of organ meats on your GAPS diet. Yay, Tara's already on Zypan. Excellent. My stepdaughter has severe constipation issues, and her and my baby both have dairy issues. This is making more and more sense. Excellent. I'm sorry, folks, when you have children that have severe constipation, I mean, really, we have to be very delicate with this, yeah? Because, be very delicate, meaning mindful, loving. Dr. Natasha says over and over that the first enema that a mom or dad or caregiver gives to their child, it's really important that it goes really well because they don't care. We care. We're the ones who are freaked out. We're the ones who don't want to do it. We're the ones who have issues around this is dirty and this is bad and I shouldn't do it. And what if I hurt them? Well, that you don't want to ever hurt your children. If you do them correctly, you won't have any problems. Nothing to worry about. But the children, we just make it like, hey, this is no big deal. This is something we do. When you don't go to the bathroom and you don't go potty, when you're having a hard time, this is what we do to make you feel better. And I have to tell you, folks, this particular tool is very, very helpful for children on the autism spectrum because most children and adults that are on the autism spectrum, Dr. Natasha says over and over again, they are highly toxic. They are highly, highly toxic. We got to get those toxins out, and we cannot allow toxins to recirculate through the body. And enemas are the way. Okay, Valerie says, I love animal fats, especially in broths and stocks, and I also enjoy ghee in, yes, chicken stock. That's what I'm having. I told you. Here we go. By the way, the ghee is from my dear friend Sandeep, who has Pure Indian Foods ghee. Best. He's wonderful. Okay. Can someone who has high oxalates, thank you, Edil, I don't know if that's your name, Edil Mohammed. Can someone who has high oxalates still take beet kvass? So I go like this because the question's been on the page, not because you asked the question. And so there is a lot of talk these days on the page about beets equal high oxalates. So here's what I'm going to give you Dr. Natasha's first answer, which is we don't look at oxalates on GAPS. Like, I know that sounds too strong, but we don't concern ourselves with salicylates and oxalates and this and that. We don't go testing for them. You can, but her first movement, in my understanding, is that we just work the diet and we listen to the body. And so if you have beet kvass and your body, and you have a reaction that the body says, I don't want this, then take it out of the body. Take it out of your diet and don't have it. That's the first answer that we have, that we're given to give you as GAPS practitioners. That's our first answer, is work the diet, listen to the body. And every time you introduce foods into your body, take a little tiny bit, not a whole mug of beet kvass, right? We do a little tiny bit and then we watch for reactivity. So that's the first thing I would say. The next thing I would say is, after doing some research for the page for all of you this past weekend, is that oxalates are concentrated in the leaves. They are not concentrated, meaning the high levels of oxalates are in the leaves of Swiss chard, also known as silver beet in Australia. The leaves of beets, they are high in oxalates. Okay, so the root is not high in oxalates compared to the leaves. That's another understanding. The next thing that we know is that cooking makes oxalates, moves them into, I'm going to call them, it's either soluble or insoluble. I'm sorry, I'm not remembering, but it's on the page and I wrote it a couple days ago. Cooking anything that has oxalates in it, like spinach is the #1 highest number. Oh my goodness, in the thousands. Okay, compared to beets. In the thousands. Beets might have, I don't know, something much smaller. I put all those documents on our page. Okay, that you can access and download and read and share and la 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 la. So cooking beets would bring down their oxalate level even lower than it already is. And then fermenting them, you can ferment cooked beets, true, will also take down the oxalate level. All right, that's what I've got. Hello, Monica. Can beet kvass cause constipation? Not to my knowledge, but anything's possible, I suppose. In my understanding, the beets themselves, the betaine in the beets, will cause bowel movements. The thing that could cause constipation in beet kvass would be the same thing in any ferment, which is the bacteria in the beet kvass. Meaning, if you're not used to having that much probiotic food, those beautiful microbes in your body, and you've started with too much, it could constipate you. But that would be the same as sauerkraut or pickles or ginger carrots or, anything else. So to me, it would be more about the microbes, the live microbes in the beet kvass than the beets themselves. That makes sense. Okay, hello, Joanna. Could you tell us what the white stuff is? Yes. All right, another sip. Could you tell us what the white stuff is that sometimes forms on the surface of beet kvass? Yes, sure. Okay, so a couple things, folks. One of the things I went over in the last couple of weeks is the importance of really straining straining the whey really well. Okay, so if you're going to use whey in beet kvass, which you don't have to, but you would have to use more salt, right? If you are using whey in beet kvass, which is the usual recipe, and you get whey from yogurt or kefir or even raw milk, then you must make sure, I'm suggesting strongly, and having taught this lactofermentation for decades now, I'm suggesting strongly that you get all the milk solids out, which means you may have to strain it 2 or 3 times, or you may have to strain it using a cloth nut milk bag or muslin bag. You may have to use several, love that word, several layers of cheesecloth, or a nice linen napkin that was your grandma's, right? Or even a t-shirt that you cut up, or a coffee filter. So it's really important. I'm going over this, Joanna, because many people do not get the milk solids out of the whey, and then they use that whey with the milk solids in it to ferment and make a batch of beet kvass. So what's that white stuff? Well, sometimes the white stuff is milk solids. Do we want milk solids in a lactoferment? No. So sometimes it's milk solids. If it's milk solids, you'll see it. It won't be perfectly round. It'll be like, little flecks of milky stuff like yogurt. You can just scrape that off, throw it away, no problem. What else could the white stuff be? So sometimes the white stuff on the top of beet kvass is like a film. It's like a film. It's like a whitish film, so that if you took a spoon, you could pull it off and throw it out. Totally fine to do. That's happening on the top of the beet kvass, which is where we know yeast can grow. Why? Because yeast likes oxygen. So under the water, no problem for growing lactobacilli, who are anaerobic. On the top is hitting air, could be some yeast, no problem. Scrape it off, throw it out. What do we not skim off and continue? When do we throw out the entire ferment? When those little dots, white dots, are tinged with any color whatsoever. That's when we throw it out. So is it black? Often it'll be black, it'll be green, it'll be brown, it'll be usually black, green, or brown on a lactoferment. On dairy, it's usually pink. Pardon me. So what do? That's when you throw the whole batch out. Why? Because it's contaminated. Something has grown that's pathogenic that you don't want. So that's when we throw it out. When else would you throw out beet kvass? When you just don't feel right about drinking it. Throw it away. It's not worth it to you, right? It's not worth getting sick. Listen to your inner guidance. And what does it say? It says, use your nose. I talk about this a lot. Your eyes are saying, there's something on the top of there that doesn't look quite right. Use your nose. Ooh, smells bad. Out of here. Anything that smells bad, out of here. Yeah? Go on, Johnson. Out, out, out. Okay? Anything that looks bad to you, out of here. Yeah? So use your senses, use your eyes, use your nose with ferments, and then use your gut. Pardon that pun. What is your intuition telling you? If it says, I'm not really feeling good about this, throw the whole batch away. It's not worth getting sick over, $2.36 worth of beets or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Hope that was helpful. Hello, Nicole. Okay. Hello, Caroline. Nice to have you. Oh, hello, Efren. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hello, Philsan. Hello, Nina. Hello, Yvonne. Hello, Caroline. All right, I'm going back up. I just wanted to say hello to people. So there's Caroline Lilac, and then there's Caroline Lane. So I'll get to both of you. Here we go. Christina asks, so I usually have one mushy stool in the morning. Thank you for sharing that. If I eat off, I'm totally kidding. Of course, I want you to share that. I almost need to run to the bathroom. Yes, but it's only once a day, never after I eat. So it doesn't sound like I need to diagnose anything just yet. Yeah, no, Christina, you're fine. Remember, folks, this is a really good question, which is helping me think of another question for you, which is this. Your stools are going to change. They're going to change. They're not going to be exactly the same every day. No problem. Don't worry about it. Remembering the first principle is we want to have a bowel movement every day, no matter what it is. We want that bowel movement, okay? All right, 1 to 2 or more. Now, your stool and everyone else's, your children, your spouses, your partners, your everybody, your grandmother, your auntie, all of them, their stools will shift according to what they eat. That's normal. But they should be shifting within a certain range. Okay? Let me talk about that in a minute. Let me just go back to you. They will shift every day. So, mushy stool, no problem. Let's see if you need to add in some more, pardon me, kefir or high protein dairy. Whey, you can sip on some whey, right? No problem. We know that our stools will shift given the amount of good flora we take in every day, right? How much sauerkraut are you having every day? How much beet kvass are you having every day? How much cultured dairy are you having every day? I mean, these need to be staple foods, part of our diet, and as we work the diet, things will shift. Meaning, for example, if I add in, my usual is a cup and a half of something every day, and I go to 2 or 3 cups, yeah, my stool will shift the next day. Of course. Why? Because what I ate was different. So don't get anxious about it. Just watch. Use the stool as a tool, right? Let your poop give you clues. I don't know. Maybe I'm a poet today. Maybe I'm just tired. Anyway, so let them give you clues, right? Let it be a tool, but do check the toilet. Like, what's going on in there? Am I dropping stones? Yes. Am I dropping worms? Cool. That's another story for another time. Am I not having a bowel movement? Not good. Okay? So just remember that things will shift as you change what you're eating. And at some point, you will be able to bring in so much good probiotic food that your bowel movements, your stools will tend to look in a certain range. They'll always be a certain color, right? Not too dark, not too light, a certain shape, etc. And you can just go jump on and look up the Bristol stool chart if you like, if you want to. But don't get all verklempt about what does my stool look like, because then you won't pass any stools because you'll be all verklempt. Okay, moving on. Here's Caroline. Pardon me. Hello, Caroline. Any tips for dealing with a C. diff infection? There is no diarrhea. It just showed up in stool sample. Nope. So the way that we bring microbes that we don't want back to balance is by eating more good microbes. That's it. So just work it, Caroline. I would work it. I would be really working with milk kefir if you can. I don't even know why I call it milk kefir. This because crazy people call it water kefir. Not crazy, but kefir is milk. So I would work kefir, and I'd be doing, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 cups a day. Not from the beginning. Work up to a lot of kefir a day. Do that for a while. Do not go back for another stool test for at least 6 to 12 months to check it. That's what I've got. Hope that's enough. Should be enough. All right. So let's see. Caroline Lilac. Hello, Caroline. Hi, Monica. Can throat and chest sensations and pains and teeth grinding be a sign of parasite in lungs and throat? Yeah. Teeth grinding is usually one of 2 things, in my understanding. One is stress. People grind their teeth at night because of stress. 2 is, parasites. So, but here's the thing, folks. Again, Parasites, we know, move. They move around. They go to the lungs. They go to the throat. They go to the small intestine. They go to the large intestine. They go in your liver. They go everywhere. So what you want to do, really, in my understanding of GAPS, as Dr. Natasha teaches it, is do the GAPS diet for at least a year, and then start thinking about working, maybe 2 years, and then start thinking about working on things like parasites. It just takes time to get things clearing out. Yeah, and I don't know if it's anything else. I'm going to write up teeth grinding may also be a nutritional deficiency, but I'm not sure what it is. So let me look it up and get back to you. Okay, we're looking at ingrown toenails and teeth grinding today. Okay. All right, here we go. Dawn asks, I was asking about oxalates because Dr. Natasha in the blue book says go low for kidneys, prostate, urinary. All right. Page 113. I love that Dawn looks everything up. Why? Because it's helpful, and then I can really answer a targeted question. All right, prostate. Prostate gland, blah, 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 toxic, damaging, metabolites, I'm looking, metabolites. Okay, here we go. Metabolites produced by pathogenic microbes in the gut, undigested foods, immune complexes, salicylates, say that 3 times fast, and oxalates, and a plethora of other irritating and damaging molecules absorbed through the damaged gut wall into the bloodstream. So number 1, work the gut wall, meat stock. Did I say that? Meat stock. Okay. And then circulate around the body, then leave the body in urine. This toxic, damaging urine causes chronic inflammation of the bladder, urethra, prostate. Okay, so one more time with feeling. Let's heal and seal the gut. And then let's go ahead and go low ox if you want. No problem. Listen to your body. Happy to have you do that. All right. Let's get to someone who hasn't had a question answered yet. Hazel. Hello, Hazel. Welcome. My son seems to digest everything he eats except dehydrated apples. Yes, do not give your children dehydrated apples. Sorry. Let me go back and tell you why. Anything that's dehydrated, raisins, dehydrated apples, dehydrated anything requires water, requires lots of digestive juices. So, is it something to worry about? No. Probably just means 2 things. 1, he's not getting enough water when he eats the dehydrated apples. And number 2, his stomach acid is low. So I would go back and look at the Facebook Live on stomach acid that I did a couple weeks ago. Look under events on this page, and you can see in the description what I was going to talk about. That's how you find it. I've also started posting these to my YouTube channel with the title in the description or the description in the title, so that you can find things. Also, my son is a totally different kid today than when we started, so progress is there. Hooray! Also, so I kept giving them to him. He loves them. He loves them. Apples and fruit are sugar, people. Just putting that out there, not meaning to get anybody nervous, but remember, if we have anyone really going for the sugar, we probably want to go off the sugar for, I don't know, a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then reintroduce slowly. It may be the pathogens that love the dried apples. He does need enemas, but also has beautiful stools otherwise. Just wondering, 2 years, GAPS, and going strong, but those darn apple crisps come out as it is just a bit. So you're welcome. Yes, okay, they come out. So Hazel, if anything, and everyone, if anything is coming out in your stool undigested, anything, lettuce leaves, tomato skins, corn, which isn't on the diet anyway, dehydrated anything, that means that the body is not producing enough stomach acid. Well, 3 things. 1, chew. Have that child chew. Chew, chew, chew. Make it a game. Make it a game. Right? Let's count how many times we can chew before we swallow. That may be enough. Chew. Drink more water. Not a lot of water, but because you don't want to dilute stomach acid, but more water because everything dehydrated gets rehydrated in the body, and that water's got to come from somewhere. Number 3, stomach acid. Stomach acid and enzymes. Really have to watch those things, everyone. Work on his stomach acid. You can give him bitters. Again, there are several ways to raise stomach acid production. Dr. Natasha goes into a lot of them in the Blue Book, and I went into them on a Facebook Live recently. So yeah, folks, raise that stomach acid. Excellent. You are welcome, Hazel. Let us know how it goes. I love it, Allie Rose. Let the stool be your tool. That's right. Somebody, you can quote me on that if you want. Golly gee. Maybe I'll get a lot of hits. Who knows? Okay. Caroline says, I was asking about, okay, no. Caroline says, will kefir cream have the same quantity of probiotics and benefit? Yes. Everything that you ferment, well, again, I can't say like 100%, like right down to the absolute little tiny microbe number, but yes, it's wonderful. If she prefers kefir cream, go for it. Just make it well and right. Yeah, make it with a starter, and you're good to go. I love that you're doing large quantities. Really good for hormones, really good for brain, the cream, really good for bowels. I mean, yeah, just, she never has to have milk kefir if she doesn't want it, frankly. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Muriel. Okay, so here's Efren again. So I seem to have lessened the burning sensation of my throat by going heavy with the kefir and fermented sauerkraut. Excellent. However, now I'm getting a discomfort on the upper left side of my stomach. Upper left side of my stomach. It's going on for 2 days. Did I overdose on kefir? I'm also gassy and burping very often. Okay. So a couple things, Efren, if you, and everybody, if you really like doubled or tripled the amount, if you increased the amount of kefir that you were drinking more than you've ever had before, meaning by a large amount, then you could just be in die-off. You could be in die-off for a while. If you're clear that your stomach is underneath, your stomach is on your left side, underneath your left, right? The left rib, if you will. Yeah. So if it's way up there, that could be spleen. That could be spleen. Or it could also be die-off. So did I overdose on kefir? You may just be in die-off, which is not a problem. That would cause gas and burping. I would also really be clear, Efren, that you're taking enough Zypan with your meals, meaning after you've eaten a bit, you take some, or after the meal, you could take it. That would be my best suggestion. All right, last one. Christina says, I made red cabbage sauerkraut with one with caraway seeds, one without. Same amount of salt per recipe. The one without caraway got some whitish stuff on it. It smelled off, so I tossed it. I think seeds seem to bother her in general. So if seeds seem to bother her in general, I would not give her seeds. Remembering, folks, seeds are one of the #1 hardest things for the body to digest, right? One more time with feeling in this book. So, in this book, there are 4 parts to this book. My book, meat stock, culturing dairy, lactofermentation, nuts and seeds. This is a huge section of this book. Seeds are the hardest thing for the human body to digest, and that group includes nuts, seeds, beans, and grains, which are not on the GAPS diet. I would not give it to her. All right. Okay. Hi, Monica. My son is stage 2 for 2 months. Now he would eat butter or ghee any chance he gets. Hello, Philson. Philsan. I hope I'm saying it right. Welcome. And yes, give that child as much butter and ghee as they want. Very, very important. Fats. Do not limit fats for your children. It's very important for their hormones, for their brain function, for every cell wall in their body. Let him eat as much as he likes. Excellent. All right, folks, believe it or not, I'm going to jump off almost on time today. Why? Because I teach with Dr. Natasha in 1 hour, and I need to get ready. Okay, so thank you, everyone, for being with me today. I hope this was helpful, and I wish you a wonderful week. Happy June starts tomorrow. We will be together a week from today for another Facebook Live. You're welcome. You're welcome. And for anyone who would like to jump on the Culturing Dairy class, which is an hour and a half for 4 Wednesdays in a row starting tomorrow, jump on and register today. All of it will be recorded and provided to you. I'm glad you found me too, Barbara. Welcome. You're welcome, Veronica. Okay. Be well, everyone. Hello, Marissa. Have a great week. Bye now.